What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Good afternoon. Feeling blessed here. What's up, Chris, Mark, Brandon? What's going on, guys? We are back with Vant Rant Podcast, episode 593. And it's going to be our Friday edition. So it's, it feels like a Friday out there. Kind of pretty dead action, to be honest. Really everywhere. But first of all, what's going on, Mike? How was your trading today?
I felt like I was in a jail yard, like I was one of the inmates in the olden days when you're out in the yard. They called it the yard tie. And I had a sledgehammer and I was chipping away at a big hole I made myself in the beginning of the day. So F today.
I concur.
F today.
It's very, very frustrating because I started out with a just shitty ass oil play, and I just finish it off with a kiss of gold, and another just 4 days in a row of just solid gold plays. I should have stuck with gold because oil sucked. But yeah, I had to bring myself back out of the hole as well. So we were inmates in the yard together today. But as far as the headlines today, very, very light. Obviously, we had jobless claims, a lot higher than expected. Look, previous was 190, forecast of 205. We actually got 219,000 unemployment claims. So, but it's.
Yeah, you also had challenger job cuts earlier in the day. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a preview. I mean, I didn't expect the market to move so much off claims. I mean, the problem is, when you got a light volume market, the algos can kind of push things around. So you got to be a little bit careful. And so I actually had some decent trades through that news event. But, the big thing today is everybody's waiting for 8:30 tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, non-farm payrolls. Nobody wants to put any positions on. I mean, this is like barcode action. This is just, this is just shit action here, man.
Yeah.
And so, don't get chopped up in it. I mean, look, I've been trading long enough that, when I have a nice little, when I start in the red, I can. I got some tactics that I can reverse in. It requires a lot of trades, but I chip away at that loss, and I did. I chipped away at the loss to where, I had a couple plays that got a little bit too aggressive on, and so now I'm probably a little negative if you count in commissions, but if you were to look at the P&L, it would show green, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's the way it goes.
Yeah, I'll take that. If that's the worst it's going to get, I'll take that all day long.
Right. Yeah, no, me as well. He'll probably makes it back tomorrow against NFP because, boy, just, you know what? I don't normally stream Fridays, but I'll probably do an NFP stream because I think we're going to get some nasty movement in gold tomorrow, and you could make your freaking year in the move tomorrow with gold. Just
I may jump in that stream with you tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'll probably get on at like 8 though, not 7. Just because I don't want to get on too early before NFP, but that's going to be fun tomorrow. But but I don't know what's going on. I mean, what do you see on the charts out there today? I mean, I know there wasn't much, but what are you watching?
Yeah, I mean, let's look at it. From what we saw yesterday, last couple of days, some positive action. We're kind of nestled right in here on this trend line that we kind of talked about. You got this one little outlier day sitting out there. From which we call this a island reversal, where you gap up, sit up, you kind of sit there on your own little island, and then we reverse straight back down. So we talked about the markets from the last Fed meeting that they're switching, we're looking at labor. Okay, labor's in focus. Labor, matter of fact, if you counted the number of times that Powell said the word labor or anything related to that. It was more than he mentioned inflation. So I think the inflation narrative's still there. Next week we're going to get CPI, so we'll have some fun with that. But right now the market's all keened on this tight labor market, and for the Fed to really stop. We talked about, right, Ty? What's the bullish narrative? There's only one narrative for you to be bullish here. Okay, one narrative, and that's the Fed's going to pivot.
Yep.
Okay, but I think if you heard all the Fed speakers today, Kashkari, you had a bunch of them, they're not pivoting. I mean, they have one message and one message only. Matter of fact, Kashkari came out and said there is no evidence, zero evidence that inflation has peaked. So yeah, I mean, look, the narrative is the Fed's still coming in. Matter of fact, we're now up to about 75% of a 75 basis point hike, chance of a 75 basis point hike going into this November meeting. So the big thing here is, what are we going to get with the non-farm payrolls report? Well, we did get the Challenger job cuts. Before that, yesterday, we got the JOLTS. We got good news out of the JOLTS. There's basically 1 million job openings completely gone. But the bad news is there's still 10.1, which is historically very high. The bad news also is IMS, services and manufacturing are coming. The employment indexes have been very strong the last 2 months. So right there, I don't see, that's telling you that this report tomorrow could be better than expected, which is not good for the market. Now, you did have Challenger job cuts come in 67, surged 46%. LinkedIn hiring has fell off 8.8%, but they're not really good indicators as like the IMS and some of the other employment indexes. So I'm seeing some signs that we could be in for another strong jobs report. But either way, jobs goes tomorrow. That's going to be what's going to dictate where we go on this next leg. That's going to dictate whether we gap above this trend line and go, maybe get back up to that 50 moving average, or if we kind of fall back off and maybe come back down towards lows. So with that said, obviously a lot of institutions realize that they're not willing to get in here and step in front of a steamroller. So that's kind of why you're seeing this lethargic action today. But, Ty, if we zoom in here on the 4-hour chart, right now this is looking not too bad, right? I mean, this looks like a liquidity grab in here. We did make the new lows slosh through, and now, we are defending this 373.70 area.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the area you want to see it defend. I mean, you saw this nice wick retest and a rejection of this area here. We're now back at it. So kind of in a precarious situation here as far as, do we give up this level here? And if we give up this level, I mean, it's game over. Or do we give a little bit of a lift off here and head back up into this wick zone here around 388, 390 area, which kind of goes right in with your moving average here. So going to be interesting. I mean, the way I look at it is we are on a little bit of a sequence here as far as we broke through the this trend line here, and we're now marching out a little bit. But my problem is we had that initial nice reaction, and now we're consolidating in front of NFP tomorrow. And so I don't know if this was just a typical, squeeze before NFP dump, or if we're going to get a continuation out of this. I don't know, but we're obviously in this collar here as far as the levels go. So once we give up this 371.80, it's going right back down to lows, but we'll see if it holds.
Yeah, would be nice. I mean, it would be nice. We're going to have to see where we go, but that wick right there, perfect opportunity to buy.
Oh yeah.
If you were kind of looking at the markets at that point, really nice opportunity, and it gave a really nice opportunity. If you look here on the 15-minute, you got the 5 EMA on the daily chart, of course, pointing upwards or above that level. So things still looking pretty decent in here as far as that's concerned. We are kind of wedging in here. Something's got to break out of this freaking market. I mean, it just really does. You got, these declining tops. You got these increasing bottoms. We at some point, Ty, got to break out of here. What do you think?
It's going to be interesting because we're sitting in this zone right here, and we've broken to the downside here. We've broken to the upside here. And so in this case, we've already done a grab both ways. So whichever way it decides to break is most likely going to be the direction we're going for a few days, maybe a week, because we've already done this grab on both sides here, and now we're consolidating back in the range. So just keep an eye on, these two levels here.
Yeah, watching those levels. So, just showing how compressed we are in here. So, it's definitely something to watch. You can even see it. We're compressed in on the, we pretty much just crazy tough trading action today. I mean, just getting this incessive. I mean, they were just running us out of here in the morning. Things just started, kind of running and breaking early in the morning. I mean, if you kind of look in here, ran it up. We broke out of this little triangle here, ran it up, printed our initial balance high. Then they brought us down, printed our initial balance low. And so now, here's where we are. And, we're just kind of in this flat VWAP area. And it's just a tough area to be sitting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, if you look at the Qs, again, kind of, hanging here, doing a little bit better. They're above their trend line here. So we'll see if that means anything for us going forward. If you look at IWM, see if we can zoom up here, kind of in this little flag area here. So just hanging, not really doing anything. And if you look at the dollar, I know you're going to talk about the dollar in a little bit. We did pierce that 112, which was the area I was looking for. It's been kind of pinning us around a little bit. Is falling off here a little bit and has been falling off, which I think is pretty decent. Rates also, even though they are elevated, we did get above 3.8 on the 10-year. Rates kind of pulling off here, going and falling off into the afternoon as well. So maybe if again, we're playing the leader here, maybe if the dollar and rates and, we can get VIX to fall off, that would be nice. Then maybe we can get that little break going into the afternoon here. But VIX elevated, did break through 30 again. And so, I don't know. We're just going to have to see. It's just these markets they're just relentless today as far as not wanting to give us any kind of break in action.
Yeah.
As far as direction. So if you're trying to trade this, just be careful because this is obviously tougher markets to trade. But, again, if we break down the VIX and we go here, I mean, you look at the and my charts have been slow all day. I like to see it kind of fall off to the bottom half in here. That would be nice. Rates are kind of falling off into the afternoon, which I think is important. We're back down to where, sorry, let me pull up the 10-year here. Yeah, there you go. So we're back down to where we were on the 15-minute high. So everything's kind of falling back in place here. So maybe that gets us a little rally time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's going to be interesting because where we're at now in the rates is really just retesting the high of yesterday here. So if we break back below this zone, then you could see a little bit of a pop here in the markets.
Yeah, nice little run. So I'm positioned long here a little bit. We'll see if it works out. But I'm curious, Ty, if you can kind of go over the dollar. I know everybody wants to talk about oil, and then if you can kind of go through your trades, that would be a pretty decent thing too here.
Yeah, sure. So the dollar laid it out pretty easily this morning, and really good analysis as far as we were headed. So you saw that we have this nice pullback, this nice multi-day pullback. Yesterday we had a nice support found at 110. I'm closed out of this trend line, this descending trend line from the last few days. Came in this morning, retested support, retested this trend line here, and then shot out of here. And so this morning, we were sitting roughly right around this area here, and it seemed like, you know, we were pushing off our lows, we were creating structure. And I mentioned that if we break through this 111.70 area, which was the high of yesterday, then we most likely get a multi-day run, a nice active sequence up. Because at this point, we're now breaking structure to the upside, and we got some nice bullish flow back in the market here. So if you look at the current price action, the Dixie broke above yesterday's high, broke above this point that we broke down from you know, last few days here, and we now held it here as support. And so right now the Dixie's running into, and I talk about this all the time, is the Dixie's now running into the previous area, the previous intersection point of this trend line break. And so that's going to be the first area that you're going to struggle with, of course. And so now we're pulling back, most likely going to retest 111.85, which was this previous market structure point. And so now I'd look for it to create a higher low right around that retest point, and then we continue higher on this bullish structure here towards possibly around like 113.25. That's going to be the Fibonacci retracement. Take profit in there. So if the Dixie holds 111.600, I'd really like to see it hold this previous breakout here, because if it breaks back below, it's going to be a deeper tracement and breaking back below this pretty strong structure here. So if we break back below 111.75, then we could see a deeper pullback back down to 111. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. But looking at overall structure on the daily, if the daily closes above this zone here that I'm talking about, and we have a nice weekly rejection, the weekly is closing with a massive rejection retest here, blowing off some of the steam that we've had from this breakout, then we could have a nice squeeze back up towards high, towards 114, 115. Tomorrow could be very interesting, so we'll see. But I'd expect it to maintain its elevated levels here heading into the end of the day and into tomorrow. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's just you know, one fake out after the other, it seems to me. And you know, it does seem like the dollar today remained a little, you know, it's not falling off like you would expect. You know, some people calling a blow off top last week, stuff like that. I mean, blow off top, you would see, you know, a quick fall off, and you're just not seeing that dollar.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's the thing with the dollar is instead of you getting that big, you know, it falls off and you know, it's a blow off top, it just pulls back and goes sideways for a little bit, similar to this sideways action here, similar to this sideways action here, you know, right in here. So, and that's just kind of, it's been the stance that it's been doing lately. And so that's what I'd expect you to see heading into non-farm, is some sideways price action here, and then we continue back on up to highs until of course the Fed pivots. And I don't, you know, obviously we don't see that happening. So expect just some elevated levels here until it decides it wants to get going again. Gold,
They're gold in those hills.
You know what? When I said gold, I was waiting for you to say there's gold in the hills. Oh man!
I'm glad you bent over to pick up the gold, Ty.
Yeah, I'll bend over to pick up gold any day. Gold's my baby.
I'm telling you what, must be nice.
Dude, I had a perfect, just beautiful trade on gold today. I was around the 4-to-1, and let me pull it up. And so this morning here, right around this area, I mentioned that I wanted to see a pullback. So if you look at the 1 hour structure, 1 hour structure was creating the same area that I made the play on yesterday, lower highs. It was in the same rejection zone, third retest. And so after we had this nice bullish candlestick and massive bearish rejection, I wanted to see gold. I want to see gold sells. But if you understand gold and how it trades, it's probably going to have one last squeeze through this downward trend before we then dump. And that's just typically how gold trades. And so I set my order up here. You can watch the stream. I set it up here and I said, look, I had this line drawn. 119.76 or whatever, so right in that area was where I was looking for sells to reject that 1 hour retest, and then we head back down into NYSE volume, or into New York Open volume. And so gold, where did my, I don't know where it went, but anyways, gold ended up pulling back up into that zone here. And if you hop down to like the lower time frame, if I just move this wick right here wicked me in, and I talked about that on the stream. So I got in on this gold short on the stream, wicked me in, and I didn't move this take profit, and it came down 100 pips, and it just wicked me out at the bottom end here at 4-1. So another just easy trade on gold today, and that was one of the better plays obviously of the day. But looking at structure here, it's interesting because obviously we're consolidating, and most likely we'll stay consolidated in front of NFP tomorrow. But we're wedging in here, and we're wedging on top of this trend line. So I've talked about this trend line before, the one that we broke above back from the high, and we're now sitting on top of it. We're now sitting on top of this trend line back from 2015. So it's at a very interesting point here, and it's most likely not going to break until non-farm comes out, and whichever way it decides to go could be an extended rally out of it. If you look at the weekly chart's closing potentially with a nice squeeze potential. We'll have to see. Again, all bets are on tomorrow, but if the weekly closes above 1730, then we'll get, I bet we'll get a really nice squeeze up towards the mid 1800s with gold. If it rejects it with non-farm and we start rolling back over, then we're heading right back down to low 1600 lows in here. So going to be interesting. Going to watch tomorrow, see how it plays out.
Yeah, that will be interesting. So you think it'll be another play tomorrow?
Yeah, dude. Tomorrow's going to be a nasty I'm telling you. If you, I just, there's so much money to be made tomorrow on this non-farm play. I mean, making 25 grand on just this move here. I mean, there's going to be a move, I bet you double that amount tomorrow off of non-farm. It's going to be nuts. Gold moves.
All right, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Non-farm is one of the heaviest movers for gold, always has been, and this is a very important time right now for it as well. So I think we get a massive move out of gold. It's going to be pretty crazy. So definitely going to live stream that tomorrow because it's going to be fun. Oil was not so nice today. Thought I had a good analysis on it, but apparently I did not have a good analysis on it. If you take a look at structure right in here, this is where I was looking at it. I wanted to see shorts today. We had a nice high forms the last overnight, yesterday's high and overnight's high. We broke through it this morning, had a nice big rejection of it on the lower time frames, pretty big 15-minute rejection, and then we started pushing back lower towards this 87 breakout point. And so I had mentioned that if we can come back up and give us one more like retest of this zone in here, then I'd be interested in shorts because we already had our liquidity grab to the upside. So we'll most likely leak back down to the lows of yesterday. And that shit didn't work. And this thing, all oil did
what
today.
the hell, Pi?
Dude, oil was ugly today. This thing was so ugly. There was no movement. There was just no clear direction. There was no clean movement. It didn't have any just rhyme. It just sat here sideways, chopping around, wick. So I just should have stuck with gold today. Would have had a stellar day, but instead I had a mediocre day because oil just decided to. I dropped the soap in front of oil, and it didn't treat me so nicely.
Ooh.
So
Don't be dropping the soap. That's
Yeah.
not good.
But anyways, as far as structure goes in oil, we are sitting at this breakout point. Again, kind of the same story as the Dixie gold oil. Where they're all at very interesting areas, probably going to stay consolidated ahead of non-farm. And so it's going to be really like, are we going to have a nice week or two rally with gold and oil, or are they going to fall back down into their dungeons and, really just end up dying a slow death again? And so they're both at very important levels. If oil drops below 87, then it's heading right back down to 80. If it closes above and holds above 87 and it starts pushing up towards, let's say, like 90, then I think we get a nice extended rally to 95, and then we'll see maybe to 100. So I think we get a nice rally, but we'll see. Oil, it's all going to depend on what the dollar does tomorrow, same as gold. And so we'll see if the dollar holds up, if it falls off tomorrow. Don't know, but it's going to really give you a clue on what's going to happen with oil and gold moving forward in the next week or two. And last but definitely least, Bitcoin not doing anything. Just chopping around.
Is it alive, Ty? Is it alive?
It's like barely alive. It's barely beating, but it's consolidating here at 20,000. It's just a matter of time before it drops back off 20 and hits 19, 18 again. I don't think it breaks out. But yeah, not really doing anything.
What about Mal said that Euro's pretty much not doing well today. How's that? Is that
Oh yeah, no, the Euro was taking a big shit today.
Are they below parity again?
Oh yeah, well they never even reached above parity. They wicked it. But no, yeah, they've been below parity for like 3 weeks now or something like that. So they came back, retested parity like the last 2 days, and then we failed it, retest the backside of the trend line here, and then we dropped off. So seems like Euro's heading back down.
What about the pound?
Pound is rejecting. So this is the whole thing, is like all the movements that we had as far as Euro, pound, the pound had this big drop. We retraced it. Now you're seeing it head back down, but slowly. More of an even pace here. So I think that it's more so we had an oversold drop here, retrace, and now we start pushing back down, like grinding back down. So pound's very weak, Euro's very weak. New Zealand's, Australia. If you look at the currency chart over here on my right on my watch list, the pound against the dollar, Australia against the dollar, New Zealand against the dollar, Euro, all these are red, at least down 1.5%. So everything's getting smacked against the dollar, which is, it speaks for itself there. So, but yeah, cool. Yeah, but that's it for me. So I'll give it back to you. The only thing keeping Dixie from taking off is the Bank of Japan intervention. Yeah, for now. It's not gonna. I agree. That's why it's one of the reasons we're not taking off so much. But that's the only matter of time before that's out of the picture, and we take off.
Awesome, Ty. Thanks, bro. All right. Ugly day today in the markets continue. If you thought we were getting a breakout right here, boy, were you wrong. This day is one of the uglier days that, I traded in a long time. And the key is just to survive these days because, look at this. Look at this action, Ty. You think, okay, maybe we're going to break and get going, and nope, it's just one failed breakout after the other.
Yep.
So it's definitely, look, we're used to trading days like this, but typically you get a good morning trade in, and this reversal in here was just pretty nasty from a market perspective. Yeah. But it did reject pretty nicely at an important level, But I just wasn't ready for this insane strength, and I should have because, and we had a great trade. We talk about this all the time. So I always talk about non-binary events, news events that come out that really don't mean shit, right? And claims didn't mean anything to me, right? But if you look here at 8:30, the algos drove it up pretty hard. And I'm going to kind of zoom in on this action here. The algos drove it up 8:30. You can see right here, drove it up. And what do we say, Ty? What one of our top rules about just, really lame news events?
They go back to the scene of the crime.
They go back to the scene of the crime.
Yep.
So, great fade, because if you look here, this is where they came from. This is the scene of the crime. And as they did this, you had this liquidity grab of going green. We always talk about that's part of an A+ setup. And now you have consolidation underneath this area, and then they bring it right back down literally 35 minutes later. So, I mean, this is 94 to 80. You're talking about 15 S&P points, Ty.
Yeah, would have been a nice move.
Yeah, so this was the scene of the crime, and this scene of the crime has really been the scene of the crime all over. It's pretty much been the midline for today, and this is just like a heartbeat going up and down and up and down and up. But I will say, I was saying, well, maybe we're making higher lows in here, but I mean, then we had this failure down to here, just nasty. But pre-market, great trade here, great fade trade. Then they drove us out. The out goes back at it, and then they just faded us and brought us back down. And again, another great trade here. So I hope the mentorship group's watching. We had a nice liquidity grab wick here to a level we've been watching for a while, 37.60, and then they drove us back up. So, that's kind of what you're looking for, is these little wicks in here. To give you kind of a gauge and a help with the setup. If you look at IWM, I'm kind of, IWM to me is one of the leaders, right? Look at this intraday chart, Ty, and this is why I thought we were going to break out. So if you kind of look in here, you can see it. You kind of got this lid here, right?
Yeah.
This 174, and you have a higher low, and higher low, but flat VWAP is just not helping us out. So I thought for sure we were going to break on this last ascent, and just not happening. So not to be today, not to be. Anyhow, if you look at some strong stocks, and I tell you what, the oil stocks we gave you guys at the beginning of the week have just been strong stocks to trade. I mean, all week they've been strong. So if you look at Devon Energy, look at this stock, Ty. I mean, we had the trend line break close here. You had a retest into the trend line, and look where it is.
That thing, I opened at the trend line. That would have been a nice buy.
Nice buy. I mean, nice buy. And so Devon Energy, a good player. Oxy, another good player that, obviously a Buffett play that's been really strong. I mean, look at Oxy, Ty. I mean, coming out right off the 50, right in here. We gave you both of these plays at the beginning of the week, and you can see just nice plays out of there. And I got to give my man Desire credit again, because he's the one that brought us this stock. Desire from Rwanda, and you guys didn't know, Desire is one of our mentees, and he's in Rwanda. Yeah, we span the globe, right?
Desire.
Look, he gave us this one beginning of the week.
I remember that.
And this has just been a great trader. Got to give him kudos again. This is just, this is a great pick here. And so up another 1.6%. Just great trader. You could have traded it every day and just had some decent trades in there. So way to go, Desire. BTU, just continuing. I mean, we need a train whistle, Ty. Can you get a train whistle in here
I
for
could probably
stocks that are
make
just?
that work.
Look at this. Look at this right in here as we just busted out of this trend line break. It's not stopped, Tyler. I mean, that's incredible. So
Hmm.
BTU continue just, I'd be pulling the train whistle now if we could. Just great run up, and so it's been a really good day. Now I don't know if Mal's still in here, but and Born Alarm. I don't know if they saw it. I haven't seen, maybe because I haven't been in our chat in the Discord recently, but I don't know if they saw it. But your dreams have come true.
Are you talking about the Jim Cramer ETF?
Yes, I
I
am.
knew it. I knew it.
Their dreams have come true. The Jim Cramer, we had from the same people that brought you SARK, okay, which is the Cathie Wood short ETF. We now are getting the Jim Cramer ETF. You're going to have the Slim Jim ETF, so the SJIM and the LJIM. So you're going to have a short and a long one. I think I'm going to call it right now that I think the SJIM is going to outperform the LJIM. So
Yep.
yeah, just I guess if I'm Kramer, I'm going to have to sit there and kind of like maybe sharpen up my skills a little bit and get ready because that's pretty tough. Oh, by the way,
Mal.
what's that?
Ask Jim into the retirement account and be done with it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, so anyhow, we're gonna have some fun with that as we go forward. I mean, just crazy. But anyhow, speaking of Mal, I don't know if he saw it, but Tesla, he calls it a Ponzi scheme. Well, S&P Global does not agree with you as they just upgraded their debt rating
Oh.
on Tesla. So I guess Mal, you were wrong on this one.
No.
We'll see.
Mal, don't listen.
Don't listen. Yeah. So you had a nice little drop here in the morning. I was looking for a short on this one. I just gave up on it. Now, nice little bounce off VWAP, and this one could maybe get going if the market gets going. I mean, there's a lot of people short in this one. Yeah, I mean, Tesla no longer junk rated. How about that? So Cathie Woods maybe. I mean, Cathie buying here, down pretty decently on her buy. And now maybe she's getting a little reprieve in here on her Tesla buy that she had recently, but I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but the what are they called? Casinos. The gaming stocks
Are they
been
popping?
running.
Oh.
They've been popping. So day 2 in a row, Las Vegas Sands. Look at that, man. I like that chart, Ty. Now it's in breakout mode now, but that's a pretty decent chart. Look at Win, kind of got the same chart. If you're looking for a catch-up trade, maybe trying to play a stock that may be trying to play catch-up in this realm, maybe you can look at Penn Gaming as it, running into its 50, and maybe Penn can get some momentum going. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that are trapped in this thing. This is this was Courtney's old company. And so the problem is you just got a lot of people trapped in here. So I don't know about that. So but if you're looking for one that maybe could get going, but yeah, MGM, and MGM has the Macau as with Win, kind of scenario with it, but you can kind of see getting a little bump up. Well, actually, MGM kind of lagging today compared to the others. So, yeah, just crazy. So anyhow, you're also getting some run. I showed you BTF. Getting some run in the commodity space today. It's one of those type of days where the commodity traders are laughing and throwing shit at you. So SCF, which is our commodity trade that we like to play, getting a run today, almost up 5%. Not a bad looking chart, Ty.
No.
Bounce off the 50. You had a nice little hold in here. What do you think?
Yeah. It's closing as a breakout. It held 100. So, yeah, might be able to get a nice little squeeze out of it.
Yeah, would have been a great trader at the beginning of the week.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think we're kind of behind it. Yeah, there's Desire. Yeah, and he had another. I forgot. I didn't even follow this stock today. He had another good call out today. SNTI. Look at this stock, Ty.
Damn.
So let's go to the intraday action. That's going to be what we call the tail of the tape. And SNTI. Look at this trader. Oh my God, Desire. All right. Is New York Chris in the chat? I went in nice action. Oh my God. I didn't follow it today. Desire. Usually I follow your plays, and I didn't follow your plays. Look at this 15-minute high break. Oh my God. I mean, 5. You could have, you could have rode the escalator all the way up until it broke down to 8 here. 5 to 8. That's a pretty nice trade, Ty.
Fuck yeah.
Man. Desire. Rwanda kicking. Who says you got to have internet, right, Desire? Who says you got to have concrete walls? This is great. Good stuff, man. You're just kicking butt, and I just want to call you out there. Michael S., he's had a pretty good run of calling some stocks out, too. Starbucks kind of hanging here today, but I wanted to go over this one with you, Ty, because he's had a pretty good run on a couple of days of trading Starbucks here. Today's a little bit different story. But I kind of like this daily chart. I want to get your opinion of it.
Yeah,
Is it time to buy Starbucks yet? I mean, now I guess we have what's called isn't this called the Golden Cross? Which means it's going down. Right? But when you have the 50 going back over the 200, I think that's a Golden Cross there on technical analysis, which of course, typically or you could say the 200's crashing through the 50. Well, you want to look at it.
I like the bullish structure. I mean, we're maintaining higher lows, swing higher lows. I just, I would watch out for where we're at now. It would really, in my eyes, has to hold this 90 level for me to think that it really has some room to go. It's kind of forming a little bit of a head and shoulder, potentially right shoulder here. That's just something to keep an eye on. That's why I said I wouldn't want to see it drop off, because if it starts dropping off, just keep an eye on this potential pattern here, because as Mike already has this trend line drawn, we retested Starbucks on the backside already. And so now potentially, is this a head and shoulders forming to head back down because we already retested structure? Or is this just, some type of consolidation, blow off some steam, and now we're going to run back up towards 100? So just keep an eye on that. It obviously looks nice, looks bullish, but, we just have to watch out for that.
Yeah, we'll have to watch out for that. That's true. For me as a fund, I don't like it long term unless you can get it over 95.
Yeah.
I need to see get back up into this area.
Right. Yeah,
but
definitely.
Nice little trader this week. So Mike Les did pretty good with that one. As far as some other stuff, Meta, man, Mark. Okay, Mark is our Zuckerberg in disguise here. Yeah, Meta having a strong day. I'm surprised we haven't heard from our resident bull on this one. It's been pretty quiet, but yeah, Meta. I don't know. Look, it's close to highs, Ty.
Oh man.
Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? I'll tell you what. It's got I noticed Netflix. We traded Netflix all week, and Netflix, nice little bump up today in Netflix, finally doing its thing. But we'll see. Well, look, pins was on my list, and I was going to get to pins, and I've been touting pins for now 3 weeks. But nice little dip by here. Look at this V-shaped bottom yesterday on Netflix. But pins got a nice, Elliott Management's involved in pins. They got a nice upgrade by Goldman Sachs, and it just didn't. I took a trade in here. This is one of my my losses. I should have known not to chase this one. So this, I wound up taking a loss in this one. So, I'm a little sore about this stock today, even though it's up 5.2% because of the gap up. But what are you thinking about this chart, Ty?
Oh man, I like pins. I like it. Look at that gap. I remember talking about the other day. It's like it's really rounding out nicely here. It's really at that just the top of this. If we can break through, I mean, it's just looking really good. I actually really like pins here. And
I was trying to trade for short-term momentum, and it just sucked.
We haven't been above the 200 in a while. I mean, look at this whole chart here, and now we're back above. So expect to find some support here. Could be a really nice buy. I actually really like this.
Well, you do have a catalyst.
Yeah, exactly.
You do have a catalyst, so you have a couple catalysts, that's kind of pumping it up today. So Pin's not a bad trader. I still, as far as sectors, and we talked about this on Monday when we saw funds kind of going into the material sector. I still like this sector. And I like it better than the solar sector because I think solar is now, you saw Carson coming out, they're shorting the sector. I think solar's done. We had so much good momentum up here, right? But they finally came down and filled this gap here. And yeah, it's hanging at the 200, but I think solar's done. I think I'm ready to short solar plays. I think that was last quarter. That was the play. This quarter, I'm looking to short solar, and I'm looking at the material sector. And I like Nucor. Nucor having a pretty decent day today. At least it was having a pretty decent day. What do you think of this chart? And I know we got the 50, we got the 200 overhead, but it's trying to hold in here. Kind of had a liquidity grab up here, but I like Nucor.
No, I like Nucor as well. Found support at a pretty important area here. This was a previous area that we had broken lows, grabbed liquidity, and ran, and so now we're back to retest it, pushing off pretty strong. As far as the whole entire chart, forming this nice double bottom here with a higher low, so I think it could have some at least some potential to run back towards like 140, this triple top here. Then we'll talk again, but I think it has some strength in front of it.
Yeah, I do too. And steel dynamics got an upgrade today in the space, kind of same type of looking chart. Others I like in the space. I like Sherman Williams. This chart looks pretty decent. What do you think of this chart, Ty?
Yeah, you mean Charles Schwab? But yeah.
Charles Schwab.
But yeah, no.
I was actually going into Sherman Williams, but I pulled up Charles Schwab. But this is the chart. This was a chart from another long-term stock that we're kind of looking at here.
This is beautiful. I mean, it's just look. It's above. It's a 200. It's wedging in here nicely, breaking out. I mean, if it can confidently hold its 200 here in this breakout, this thing has some room to go. At least 85 would be the first area I'm looking at, and then see if you can run to 90. But this thing definitely has some room to go.
Yeah, I think so too, and I like it. So I'll be watching that a little bit in there. What about? I was also looking at this, and I know this was one that Bornalon was looking at, Wheaton Precious Metals. What do you think of this chart? Kind of getting some action again in here.
Yeah, I like this. Pull up my thing. So, we're breaking through these highs here. Really nice bullish run from the lows. I'd expect us to, if we don't pull back, at least consolidate a little bit to blow off some of this extended move here. But overall, broke the previous swing high after we grabbed liquidity here. So maybe we get a little bit of a pullback for a higher low and then run. But I like this thing I think we can get a nice continuation out of here.
Yeah, I do too. So kind of liking this one. So we'll see. We'll see if it, brings anything to us. I also, I was looking at this stock. I've traded this one a lot. GitLab, decent looking chart. I think, starting to percolate a little bit. I kind of like, it's above the 200. You got the 50 kind of sitting overhead. And you got this trend line kind of hanging here. So what do you think of this one, Ty?
Yeah, I like this one for longs. We came down, and we're now sitting here basing, creating higher lows. It seems like with this double bottom, bulls are holding it up, so I feel like we'd be able to squeeze out of here at least towards this high, and then potentially more. We'll see how it develops, but it seems like we can get a little bit of a pop out of the lows here.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can get a little run. It's going pretty good today, up 4%. But we'll see if we get anything going there. We had a couple good call outs this morning about doing some shorts. This PEGY Pineapple Express, I'm calling it. We had a nice little run and play yesterday. It's up 38% from a gap up. Good 2-day action in here, but nice little short right here. You could have, the break of 4 took this down to 340, got 60 cents, and I think it looks like it's playing up. I don't know. I think I'd be looking at this as a short going forward too. So I kind of like that. The other one that was a high flyer that was a decent short was this Heart Beam, Tyler, Heart Beam. But you notice both of these, they had nice VWAP retests in here.
Yeah.
So kind of liking that, and maybe we'll see. Get some continuation on these. Sava, which was a former runner here, still kind of doing its thing. Up 6%, but it really had a nice little run out of the 15-minute high earlier. So it was a decent little trader in here. Kind of fell off. You had Zscaler, which got an upgrade in here, so that was looking pretty decent. And God, my charts are slow today. But I mean, that's about it. As far as stocks, not much going on until tomorrow. I'm trying to take a couple flyers, see if we can break out of some of this stuff, but just doesn't appear want to do it.
Yeah. No, I know.
We're really, if we go back to that 15-minute chart, Ty, we're still wedged in here.
Wedging there tight.
It's we're wedged in here tight, man. Look at that wedge.
Could have a nice move. I feel like unlikely to really break out today in front of tomorrow, but maybe it will. But either way, I think we could at least get a few points.
I'm just looking for a little curl out of here, man.
Yeah.
Just, anything.
Right. Yeah.
Give a I saw Tesla breaking out, right? Which, typically is a leader. Just, couldn't get any action going here. If you look at IWM in here, it's trying to look at the intraday. It's trying to look. This looks like it wants to pop up here.
Yeah, it does.
But just not happening yet. So get a little pop up back above 3.8 on rates. So putting a little bit lid on any action that we have. Let's go to the intraday SPY chart for one last gander at what maybe we want to look at here. Let me go to the 2-minute chart. 2-minute chart.
2-minute chart.
2-minute chart. 2-minute chart. I hate it.
Damn, dude, look at that.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Who the heck wants to buy this or sell it? It's just crazy to me. So, what are you thinking? What are you looking for? If you're looking for, some kind of run out of here.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, you're wedged in here, so I'm watching. It's getting tight. See, if it was not as tight as it would, I'd be looking to trade from off of level to level here. But at this point, it's getting too tight. So I'd look forward to see if it's going to break, which high it's going to break or which low it's going to break. You can grab some off of it. It's just a tough one in here.
Right.
and I don't know. The problem is we keep getting it pushed down lower and lower and lower, but we're maintaining these equal lows here. So
I don't know.
I don't know who's going to give, dude. This is a tough one today. I guess we'll have to
It's
see.
a tough one, man. I just, I backed out of my trade, at least partial. I'm trying to filter around here and see if we can get something going. Just this market can't get anything going, can it?
No, I cannot. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I mean, look, no show tomorrow, no Vant and Rant podcast tomorrow, but I'll be on at 8 o'clock. If you guys want to hop in, feel free. For the non-farm, should be good trading.
I'm gonna try to hop in with you possibly.
Cool. Yeah, maybe
All right, guys.
Special guest.
Ah,
Big Mikey.
we'll see.
All right, guys. Well, either way, I'll be on. So have a good rest of your day.
Safe trading, guys.
Safe trading.